The clock struck 12. Another long day over. He was just a salaryman, lost in the city's bright lights. His heart ached with a familiar emptiness. Tonight it felt heavier than usual. He missed his last train home. Why does it always end up like this? A low rumble echoed through the station. A train arrived, shrouded in an ethereal mist. Its arrival was unannounced, a ghost on the tracks. The platform was deserted. Nobody seemed to notice the train except for Kenta. He felt strangely drawn to it. Kenta hesitated, then stepped inside. The door slid shut with a hiss. So this is different. He was alone, or so he thought. As the train rattled into the night, he realized this was no ordinary commute. This was something different, something unknown. The train was named Yoru Line, the kanji glowing faintly above the driverless front window. It seemed to beckon Kenta, inviting him into a world unknown. The interior was unlike any train Kenta had ever seen. It was as if he had stepped into another dimension, one filled with mystery and wonder. The seats were plush velvet, deep shades of blue and purple like a night sky. They seemed to shimmer under the dim lights, adding to the surreal atmosphere. Soft, jazzy music played from unseen speakers, creating a calming yet eerie ambiance. This can't be real! Kenta's voice trembled as he tried to make sense of his surroundings. Each window showcased a swirling vortex of colors, not the familiar city passing by. It was as if the train was traveling through the fabric of space and time. It was like watching galaxies being born and dying in fast forward. The spectacle was both mesmerizing and terrifying. Kenta felt a shiver run down his spine. The surreal experience was overwhelming, making him question his reality. The train car was no longer empty. Figures began to materialize, each one more enigmatic than the last. Strange figures began to appear. They seemed to belong to different eras, their clothes and mannerisms out of place. An old woman materialized from the shadows, her knitting needles clicking rhythmically. She seemed oblivious to the chaos around her. A young schoolgirl sat across from her, drawing constellations with a shimmering silver pen. Her focus was intense, as if she was mapping out the universe. At the far end, a young boy stared out the window, his face obscured by shadows. Kenta watched them, mesmerized. Each passenger seemed lost in their own world. This train, these people, it all felt like a dream. A dream that Kenta couldn't wake up from, no matter how hard he tried. He closed his eyes, then opened them again. Nothing changed. He was trapped. The Yoru Line had taken him to a place beyond comprehension. Kenta gathered his courage and approached the old woman, his heart pounding in his chest. He had seen her many times before, always knitting with an intensity that seemed otherworldly. She didn't acknowledge him, but continued knitting, her needles moving with impossible speed, creating a mesmerizing rhythm that filled the air. As Kenta got closer, he realized she wasn't knitting with yarn. Instead, the material seemed to shimmer and shift, almost as if it were alive. Her needles wove threads of shadow, creating intricate patterns that seemed to writhe and coil in her lap, casting eerie shapes on the floor. What are you making? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper, filled with a mix of curiosity and fear. He turned to the schoolgirl sitting nearby, hoping for some kind of explanation or reassurance. She smiled at him, her eyes bright and full of life, a stark contrast to the dark threads the old woman was weaving.
"Hi there," she said cheerfully, her voice a ray of sunshine in the dimly lit train car.
But when she looked back down at her drawing, Kenta saw a profound sadness in her eyes, as if each stroke of her pencil carried a heavy burden. The stars she drew seemed to fall from the page, each one representing a lost dream, a wish that had never come true. "Your drawings? They're beautiful," he said, trying to offer some comfort, though he knew it was not enough. Finally, he approached the young boy standing by the window, his face illuminated by the passing lights. He stood beside him and looked out the window at the swirling colors, a kaleidoscope of memories and dreams. Kenta noticed something unsettling. The boy cast no reflection. It was as if he were a part of the shadows themselves. He was like a ghost, a phantom child on this phantom train, existing between worlds. Each passenger was an enigma, radiating an aura of unfinished business, their stories untold and their destinies uncertain. Kenta felt a kinship with them, a shared sense of longing and regret, as if they were all bound by the same invisible thread. He sank into a seat, the weight of his own unfulfilled dreams pressing down on him, mingling with the collective sorrow of the passengers around him. The train rattled on, each click of the wheels echoing the beat of Kenta's heart, a steady rhythm that mirrored his inner turmoil. He looked at the passengers, each lost in their world, their faces a canvas of unspoken stories and silent struggles. He saw a reflection of himself in their sorrow, their unspoken pain resonating deeply within him. He too carried the weight of what could have been, the burden of missed opportunities and unfulfilled dreams. I understand now, the choices I made, the paths I didn't take. He remembered his childhood dream, the burning desire to be a musician, a dream that once set his soul on fire. The memory played in his mind, vivid and bittersweet, a reminder of a time when anything seemed possible. He saw himself as a young boy, guitar in hand, pouring his heart into every chord, every note a testament to his passion. He remembered the feel of the worn wood, the smooth strings under his fingers, the music that flowed from his soul. I was so passionate back then, so full of dreams and hopes. The scene shifted. He saw himself abandoning his dream, choosing the safe path, the stable job, the life of predictability. His guitar lay forgotten in a dusty corner, a silent witness to his lost passion. The memory was sharp, filled with the bitter sting of regret, a constant reminder of what he had sacrificed. He had traded passion for security, and in the process, lost a part of himself. A part that he could never reclaim. The Yoru line was more than just a train. It was a journey through the landscape of his soul. It was a journey through the landscape of his soul, each stop a forgotten memory, a buried dream, a piece of his lost self. He was being forced to confront the choices he'd made, the life he'd left behind, the dreams he had buried. Can I ever go back? Can I reclaim what I lost?